Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Lottie, and this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video. Or if you're listening to us on a podcasting platform, leave us a review. 5 stars will be best, but whatever you think that we deserve. And my God, it's a great week to be a fan of superheroes and superhero media because we just got to see Invincible and X-Men 97 dropping, and we got reviews for those coming up. And, we're waiting for, we're waiting for the next episode of that, obviously. And we're hotly anticipating more superhero things coming in the future. But first, before we talk about all that, Lottie, how you doing, my friend? And what you been up to that's nerdy?
Oh, man, Ash, what have I been up to that's nerdy? What have I not been up to that is nerdy?
I know you've been hell diving.
Yeah, I've been playing the shit out of Helldivers. Man, I've been playing the shit out of Helldivers. I've been just playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've been watching Invincible. I've been watching X-Men. I mean, literally, what have I not been doing nerdy?
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, same here on those two things you were watching. Also, I finished watching season 2 of Halo. I have some thoughts about that. I think I might finally get back to reviewing things maybe with Halo since that just finished. Also, I watched Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man with my daughter today. That was dope. I may yet be raising a nerd. I'm not sure. And Lottie, I can't lie. I'm still on my addiction, man. I cannot lie. I went to Ross. I had to work. I worked on Saturday night, but I got off at 9, so I was like, "Oh, Ross is still open. Let me just swing by and see. Maybe they got something. They probably don't, though." And when I tell you, they had 2 figures, and I couldn't say no. I'm looking at them right now. I got to show them to you sometime. So I got 2 DC figures. One of them is the Joker from The Dark Knight Returns, and the other one is Blackest Night Batman, or like he's like a Black Lantern. And when I tell you they were dope, and you know how much they cost me each, you're gonna be like, "What?"
How much?
$6 each. $6 each, y'all. If y'all want some cool action figures, y'all need to be checking out Ross because they got it. They got the hookup, for real though. Oh, and also I got in the mail an Eternals figure, Kingo from Eternals, Marvel Legends figure, looking pretty dope over there on my mantle. I'm running out of place to put this stuff. Somebody help me. I've got a fever, and the only cure is more action figures. So anyway, this is the Supercast. We are going to talk about superhero news. Plenty of stuff going on this week, but we're kind of scaled back a little bit because we are going to talk about X-Men 97. We're going to review that on the podcast today. But before we do that, we're going to go over our news, which is there's a live action Teen Titans in the works, according to James Gunn, and we have a writer on it. J.K. Simmons talks about having not met Tom Holland, and also whether or not he would play Omni-Man in a live-action Invincible, which, of course, we do know is coming. Anthony Mackie talks about who won't be in Captain America 4. There is a new trailer for the previously announced Marvel Black Panther and Captain America game that looks pretty interesting called Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. There is an activist investor over at Disney that had some things to say about casting in the MCU. We're going to tell you why he's a fucking dumbass. And then Brad Winderbaum, one of the big producers over at Marvel, talks about the Marvel animation side and also other upcoming projects going on at Marvel. So, Lottie, you ready to get into this, man?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get to it. So, Lottie, I did not expect this, but James Gunn, he's perpetually online. I keep wondering, how the hell does this man get any work done? He just seems to be on threads nowadays, just talking to people. But somehow he's getting work done. And one of the things that seems to be underway over at DC Studios is a live action Teen Titans, which, I mean, Lottie, I guess this makes sense, but I really didn't think that they were going to go for that so quickly. Did you?
In my opinion, it's about damn time that they decided to do a live action Teen Titans. I'm almost of the mind that it might be a little too late for a live action Teen Titan, but you could always prove me wrong. But I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's cool that they're finally deciding to do this. Like, is it going to be a TV show or a movie?
I think it's a movie. So they're writing,
Okay.
and they've announced the writer. It's Anna, excuse me, Anna Nogueira, who is also the screenwriter of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, the Supergirl movie for DC, the DC universe. So, two things. One, I agree with you. It's past time to have done Teen Titans. I think maybe what's kept it from being a thing is that modern superhero movies have a problem with sidekicks. Like, in particular, teenage sidekicks. Because, let's be honest, what grown-up superhero is being responsible by having a teenager be a superhero, right? We know. I mean, it's even sort of iffy that Tony Stark was just like, all right, cool, Spider-Man, you can keep doing your thing. But Spider-Man, had superpowers, so it's not as big a deal. But if Tony Stark was like, all right, Robin, keep doing your thing, it would be kind of weird, right? So I guess I get it. But you're right, it is past time for that to happen. Number two, Anna Nogueira, apparently James Gunn must have, and Peter Safran must have really, real confidence in this woman, because she's writing two of their big properties, and they must like what they see out of her. I'm really curious. I'm actually a little more interested in Supergirl because they're doubling down on her. I mean, would that be a fair thing to say?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, so okay. So this Teen Titans one is going to have, it's not going to be as like the ones that we know from the what was it, 2004 or whatever show. So they're going to add like Supergirl and all them into it.
Honestly, who knows? That's the thing, is he just announced that she's doing it, not who's going to be in it. Or, I mean, I would assume that it would be the Titans we know, like, Stargirl and not Stargirl, Starfire, Robin, Beast Boy. I would assume Cyborg. And I'm missing somebody. What's
Raven.
Raven? I would assume that, but also, there have been other Titans beyond that, and so I mean, I don't know. I would guess that's the lineup. I'm happy that they decided to go this way. It's damn time that DC acknowledged one of their premier teams that it's gotten no love. You know what I'm saying? It's just been Justice League. But since we are clearly getting a Justice Society, I think probably, and possibly in Superman, but somewhere we're going to get Justice Society. So Teen Titans, I think, makes a lot of sense. And I need to learn more about Anna Nogueira, because like James Gunn, I feel like he's a good judge of, talent. And if they think that she is someone they need to keep around making more stuff for them, I want to know who this person is. So, but either way, we're going to keep an eye on this. We'll let you guys know more information as we get it. We got a couple of J.K. Simmons things. I forget why he was being interviewed, but hey, I do love to hear from the man himself. I was really happy watching the original Spider-Man and just seeing him just, kind of do his J. Jonah Jameson thing. I love it. But he was talking about how, and this is just interesting a thing about the way Hollywood works, how he hasn't met Tom Holland yet. Can you believe that? They have never met. They even went to the premiere of Spider-Man No Way Home that J.K. Simmons is in. He was in briefly in Far From Home, but also he was in No Way Home. But they never met. Not even on the red carpet they didn't meet. They just haven't. He said, whatever, even at the premiere, we just didn't happen to cross paths. Can you believe that, Lottie? As much shit as J. Jonah Jameson talks about Spider-Man, he could at least go shake the man's hand, right?
Because I would love for them to meet and be like, Spider-Man's it's like there's like a video where like he's walking, minding those business, all of a sudden you hear Spider-Man's a criminal. Like, damn, that is ridiculous. But it's like you said, it's one of the things that is about our show. I mean, the Hollywood, that you can literally just work and not know or meet really anybody. It's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like it's like in the comics how they just really are separated by this real gulf. But I'm sure J.K. Simmons would love to meet Tom Holland, and I'm not saying I know anything about this. I have a feeling that he is definitely going to show up in Tom Holland's future Spider-Man movies, and probably they finally will meet. I'm hoping. Can we just get him to do Spider Slayers? That's all. Am I asking too much for J. Jonah Jameson to pay Robert Smythe to make Spider Slayers that have a little TV face on it with his face on it? I just want that. I've seen it in the comics. I need that to happen in real life. Just make it happen, please. Thank you. Thank you, Marvel. Listen to me. J.K. Simmons was also asked about if he would, if he'd be open to being Nolan Grayson, aka Omni-Man, and the inevitable Invincible movie. We know for sure they are developing the Invincible movie, and he is, of course, the voice of Omni-Man. And this was his response. Let me see if I can say it in his voice. Absolutely not. I don't think Omni-Man should be played by a 69-year-old. Maybe there's a cameo for me as the leader of the Viltrumites. So, did I get that right? Did I get close? Did I get close to his voice? Oh man!
Or he'll tell the reporter, "You should have never been born."
Let me say one thing. First of all, have y'all ever seen J.K. Simmons? That dude is fucking jacked. Have you seen him? Have you seen him like just like in a wife beater or something, like on a movie? Dude's fucking jacked. He's in great shape. Absolutely amazing shape. But no, I feel you, dog. 69 years old. Fuck that. I'm not putting on any spandex and putting on a wire harness and pretending like I'm flying around. Y'all can kiss my ass. Y'all can't pay me enough for that. Well, I mean, you could, but like, you get what I'm saying. But I think I think that makes sense. They do need to cast another person to be Nolan that's willing to like do all of that shit. That said, I don't think it would make sense for him to be the leader of the Viltrumites, because the leader of the Viltrumites isn't an old man. He's, the old leader of the Viltrumites that got killed by the regent. Yes, he's old man, but like the actual regent is not an old man. But he could very well, you know who he could be? We've already seen him in the Invincible cartoon series. He could be I forget the guy's name, but the leader of the resistance that's actually a Viltrumite that we just saw.
Yeah.
He could be that guy. So doesn't require him to fly around and kick ass or anything. He'd just be an old dude. So or what do you call him? Optimus
Prime.
I think you could do that. But I mean, would you like to see J.K. Simmons be in the live action?
Oh yes, he could do a cameo where this, like you said, he could always play as an older character. You know, he doesn't have to be Omni-Man.
Ooh, what if he's Cecil? What if he's Cecil? That
would be good.
That would be great, actually. That'd be great.
He won't have to put on a full wig.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest though. They should just get Walton Goggins to do it. They really should. He's already doing the voice. He'd be great at it. So I don't know. Robert Kirkman will figure something out. You can't, are you kidding me? You can't let J.K. Simmons is killing it. You know, in Invincible as a voice actor, you can't not have him in there. So I'm sure they'll figure something good out. Either way, I thought that was interesting stuff from him. So if we find out about what he's going to be in Invincible the movie, we'll let you guys know all about it. Staying on movies, Anthony Mackie had some sad news for everybody. I know y'all wanted to see the bromance, you could even call it the bro triangle if you want to, from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But Sebastian Stan's not in Cap 4. Sorry, Lottie. I know you were really looking forward to that. You're just going to be happy with only seeing Sebastian Stan in Thunderbolts. Is this a surprise to you, though?
That he's not in... That is actually... It is. Him not to appear in the movie at all, it's kind of weird. And I hope that whoever put this comment right here by Mr. Universe 23, I'm not going to say it. Don't you speak that evil on me.
Now I have to see what it is.
Don't you speak that evil.
What is... Bet he dies in Thunderbolts. Oh, shut up. No, he's not. He's not going to die. No, I'm not surprised by this. I'm gonna be honest. But I did like what Anthony Mackie was saying, which was he's like, man, I'm it kind of sucks. I couldn't I couldn't have my friend Sebastian here to be in it, and also he called out Daniel Bruhl. He was like, man, we had a lot of fun making Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I can't wait till we get a chance to work together again. I love that. I do like knowing that people behind the scenes, they had a good time on projects with each other. And I'm certain that they're going to reunite probably for, Kang Dynasty or something like that. But I'm not surprised by this, in part because Sam Wilson has got to stand on his own without kind of the baggage of Steve Rogers. And part of that is not having Bucky around. Bucky's not Captain America. He just isn't. Sam is. And Bucky's got to go on and be his own man and do his own thing. And hanging around being a sidekick to the new Captain America is not his thing. He's the Winter Soldier. So it makes sense to me narratively and makes sense to me for characters for Sam to have to go on and be Captain America, in his own right. So I'm not surprised by this, and I'm not really even upset by it. They're going off and doing their own things. And I think Captain America 4 will be better for it. And also remember, he already has a damn sidekick. I mean, the new Falcon, right? So we don't need a third person in this thing. Just saying. So not surprised, but like, hey, I'm looking forward to both of those movies. And we get more information about both of those movies. We'll let you guys know all about it. So here's something that dropped, and I was not, first of all, not expecting it. I knew about this project, I knew about this game, but in no way did I think we were going to hear anything about it anytime soon. Because I think it was 2 years ago we heard about this. If you remember, that they announced like a couple of years ago that there was going to be a Captain America and Black Panther video game, and it was going to be taking place in World War II. And one of the people that wrote on it was Mark Bernardin, who I name drop him every now and then on it. He's one of my favorite kind of like writers slash, kind of pop culture, talking head. But he was one of the writers on it. So I was surprised we got this trailer. So, I mean, Lottie, it's no gameplay. It's really just a story trailer to tell you what it's all about. You got basically T'Challa's granddad and Steve Rogers running around in Europe, and they're basically Hydra's going around doing its Nazi shit, and they're both kind of chasing after the same thing, and it's going to, of course, lead them to clashing before coming together to fight together. So it stars, I don't know who is Steve Rogers, but Carrie Payton is playing. It's not T'Chaka. That's T'Chaka's dad. I can't remember the guy's name, but basically the Black Panther before T'Chaka. And Carrie Payton, I always remember him from Walking Dead, but he's been in other things. So anyway, I've said enough. A lot of you saw the trailer, my friend, and this video games, that's your whole expertise, right? So what'd you think about this?
I can't really glean too much because I didn't see much gameplay. It's cool, the story that is being shown. I kind of wish they would have just shown a little bit of gameplay, because like I kind of agree with one person in the comments section say that you should have showed at least a little bit of gameplay, because people are going to think this is a movie and then ignore the next time they actually release a gameplay trailer. You know what I mean? And I think Marvel has to understand this, that you're not Sony and Microsoft or Nintendo where you can just release a cinematic trailer of, like, let's say, like for example, let's say Sony releases a cinematic trailer of God of War. Everyone knows God of War is a video game, but not everybody associates Marvel, especially Captain America and Black Panther, with a video game. So I think next time, Marvel, do not release this trailer unless you're showing gameplay, unless you want a bunch of confused fans. It is true. A lot, like, I had to explain this to quite a few people that actually it's a video game. They were like, "Oh, I thought it was a movie."
Yeah, and which, by the way, would be honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they made a whole in-game cutscene movie. I would not be mad about it. The Dora are there, like, the Dora are there, and they look like Dora. You have, I don't know if we're gonna get the Howling Commander those necessarily, but Steve is definitely on point, and clearly he and Black Panther are gonna square off, and it's gonna be pretty dope. And also fuck Hydra. So fuck them, because they're gonna get a double dose of ass whooping from these two people. I'm really kind of excited about it. It makes me question though, what level of technology are the Wakandans gonna have? Because they're technologically advanced. What level are they gonna have? How are they, looking at World War II, and why are they getting involved? And what's his response going to be to these outsiders who aren't necessarily his enemies, but aren't necessarily his allies either, and definitely are going to give him a run for his money? And then what's the Red Skull gonna do about all this? Because clearly the Red Skull's going to have to show up, right? Obviously the Red Skull's going to have something to do here. Am I right?
Yes, I completely yes, clearly.
So I'm really really intrigued by this. Will I play this game? I mean, I'll let Lottie play it. How about I'll let Lottie play it and tell me if I need to play it. But he said I need to play Spider-Man 2, and I'm just not buying a PlayStation 5 for that. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll do a gameplay trailer, and when that does drop, we will talk about it then. So Lottie, it's time for us to dunk on somebody. Look, I saw this randomly while I was, scrolling my phone for news, and I was like, oh God, why do these people exist, and how can we, diminish their influence? And you're like, Mo, what are you talking about? So there's this guy named Nelson Peltz. He is a rich white dude, rich old white guy. And he represents a bunch of other rich old people. I'm assuming rich old people, but some rich people. He is an investor. He is an activist investor in Disney. And right now, you guys may not know it, but there is a struggle going on for Disney, the leadership of Disney, really the Disney board of directors. So if you understand the way corporations are going, you got the CEO, and the CEO sounds like the president of the United States, right? He's the president of the company or whatever. There are presidents of the CEO, but the CEO is answerable to the board of directors. And who's on the board of directors is not determined by the CEO. It's determined by, shareholders primarily, but that people are voted on and so forth and so on. So why is this important is because Nelson Peltz is he has been, gathering a bunch of investors into a block so that he's trying to get onto the Disney board of investors, trying to get on the board of Disney. Hasn't worked so far. Mind you, part of his whole reason for being, I guess, is to oppose Bob Iger, who, as you know, was brought back on as CEO of Disney to fix the bullshit that Bob Chapek did. And Iger is against this guy. This guy wants to depose Bob Iger. Oh, now mind you, I'm not saying Bob Iger is perfect or anything, but I mean, he does a good job for the most part. Mm-hmm. But this guy he's an activist investor or whatever. All right, why should you care about this? And why did I say all that shit about him at the beginning, where I was talking shit about this guy? Well, because apparently he's a shithead, and a shithead in this sense. I'm going to quote from this article. This is off of Yahoo News, but I'm going to quote him straight up. It's from Reuters. It says, Peltz, whose fight to join Disney as a director has become one of the year's most bitter and closely watched board battles. In an interview with the Financial Times, said Disney's films have become too focused on delivering a message and not enough on quality storytelling. He specifically took issue with the Marvels and Black Panther. Now I'm going to pause before I quote him. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to contextualize this. If you have spent any time online listening to any of toxic fans, that is a fucking red flag right there. Am I right, Lottie? The way he says, too focused on delivering a message, not on, that's the start of a red flag moment, wherein someone's about to justify bigotry. Guaranteed. That's what's about to happen. The message and not on quality storytelling. And he specifically took issue with the Marvels and Black Panther. I wonder why. What is it about the Marvels and Black Panther that he could have a problem with in terms of a message and not quality storytelling? What could be the problem? Let's see. Quote, why do I have to have a Marvel that's all women? Not that I have anything against women, but why do I have to do that? Why can't I have Marvels that are both? Why do I need an all-black cast? Asked about Peltz's remarks, a Disney spokesperson responded, quote, "This is exactly why Nelson Peltz shouldn't be anywhere near a creatively driven company." So, Lottie, let's talk about this shithead. That's what it is. This is a rich old white man talking about why do we need diversity in our movies. And he sounds just like the Phantom Menace shitheads, except he's rich and he actually can do, unlike them, he actually has a potential to actually do something about this. And I have a fucking problem with this because he's basically saying, "Oh, I'm not a racist, but..." That's the way he started. "I'm not a racist, but..." Why do we have to have an all-black cast? I don't know. Black Panther's about a fucking African nation. And by the way, it wasn't an all-black cast. There are several white people in both movies of Black Panther. It wasn't all black. It wasn't. There was white people in it. Unnecessarily, I might say. Unnecessarily, there were white people in the first one. In the second one, made a little more sense. But it fucking makes sense. So, one, either you didn't watch the fucking movie, or two, and that's most likely, you didn't watch the fucking movie. What you did is you listened to some asshole talking about, "Oh, it's just a black movie," right? Or you looked at the poster and you're like, "Oh, why do we got to have all black cast?" And my question is, there's so many casts that are all white. Why the fuck can't you have an all black cast? To explain, instead of saying, "Why do I need an all black cast?" Tell me why do you need an all white cast? You're not going to say that shit. The other thing is, why can't I have Marvels that are both? Because there ain't no male Captain Marvel in the fucking MCU. That's why. Watch the goddamn movies and you'll understand instead of asking dumbass bigoted questions. All right, I've gone off. I got more to say. Lottie, what do you think?
Yeah, it's when I read this, I was like, yeah, it sounds like what's the word I'm trying to use? The poster boy of executive that doesn't know anything about what they're doing, but wants in just because of the money. It's a problem that's happening in the video game industry. It's happening in the anime industry, all over the place, that these executives who have no idea what they're even investing money into want their input in, and it makes no damn sense. That, like, is as much whatever you want to say about Black Panther 2, Black Panther 1 and Black Panther 2 made $3 billion. If you had any form of intelligence, you would just shut the fuck up about Black Panther. If you want to make any form of opinion on the Marvels, because it was a bomb, but Black Panther, shut your dumb ass up. That's literally like, imagine someone like a Sony representative being like, "Yeah, but I don't like that they made Angry Boda and God of War black." Motherfucker, you're talking about one of the best-selling PlayStation games of all time. What? That's your Black Panther is your issue? It just shows legitimately, like you said, he's probably listening to some stupid ass Phantom Menace people that he thinks knows what they're talking about, instead of just doing just common research and seeing Black Panther 1 made 1.2 to 1.3 billion dollars and Black Panther 2 made about $1 billion. So
not $1
both
billion,
of the movies,
but between the two of them, they made about $2 billion. Yes.
Yeah, between both movies made about $2 billion. Who gives a fuck?
Wait, he
Clearly
does.
Something's working.
Well, no, the reason why is because he's fucking old white racist piece of shit.
But here's the thing. Even if he is a old white racist, Bear Bryant was a racist person, and guess what he started doing to win more championships? He put black people on his team. He had black quarterbacks. There's a point where your racism makes you mentally retarded. You're stupid. He's just some rich dude who made his money, old money, probably not even his money, probably his parents' money, you know what I mean? From back in the day. So he doesn't really know what he's talking. Because listen, I don't give a let's not pretend that every executive, white executive who greenlight black movies or black things are fully love black people. Some of them are racist too, but they're not stupid. They know what can make them money.
Yeah.
He clearly is an idiot. These are the type of people, like the person said, if he gets major investment into Marvel, he won't just destroy things when it comes to racism or bigotry. He'll destroy things when it comes to all white movies too, because he clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He clearly doesn't even do the smallest research, because he clearly doesn't know. He clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about at all. So if he gets involved, if he gets power, like majority power in Disney, oh boy, woo!
I mean, like I said, he's a shithead. Because you single out the Marvels and Black Panther, right? So because you're against diversity, equity, inclusion, I get it. You're shitty, but you shit talking a $2 billion franchise. That's dumb. You clearly don't know any of the. I don't even believe you watched any of these fucking movies. I don't believe it. You are just a money man. We've talked ad nauseum on this show about executives not being able to write their way out of a paper bag. They couldn't write a good movie to save their fucking life, and yet they have the goddamn nerve to sit up here and tell people about how to fucking make movies. And this motherfucker is even worse. He's not even an executive. He's a guy that's invested in the company. He represents a bunch of people that's invested in this company. You know, he represents a fund that has invested a decent amount, enough to talk shit and try to get on the board. So good for you. You got a ton of money. You put money into this company. Cool. That don't mean you know a fuck thing about making anything good. To me, I can't even tell that you know a good movie from a bad movie. Sit up here talking shit about Black Panther, one of the most well-received franchises in MCU history. The Black Panther itself is 98% on fucking Rotten Tomatoes. Black Panther 1, Black Panther 2 is 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's one of the most well-received franchises in the MCU. Chadwick Boseman is arguably third in line in popularity in fucking MCU history, right? I mean, like, look, the first Captain Marvel got made over $1 billion fucking dollars. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The Marvels tanks for good reasons. You know, it tanks for good reasons. And you think you got some fucking ammunition. You don't know shit. I hope you fucking fail. Not just because you're racist and sexist and all that other shit and you're just a shithead, but because you have demonstrated that any control you have over the creative decisions over at Disney would best be disastrous. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Bob Iger has a track record that it speaks for itself, and you're just a dude with money. Shut the fuck up and get your dividends. Whew, okay. Fuck that guy, and I hope he fails. So we'll let you guys know whatever the fuck happens after that, but like, I hope his private plane crashes. Not that he dies, he survives, but he has a change of heart from almost dying. How about that? I'll moderate it some. So moving on to the final, I guess our final topic for today, Brad Winderbaum, who, look, I've not been a champion of Brad Winderbaum. He has been the producer on some shit. Let me tell you, he was a producer on Secret Invasion. So he was a producer on Secret Invasion. Not his greatest work, not his greatest production. He's also a producer on X-Men 97, so I got to give a pass, right? But he was interviewed in a couple places, was talking about Marvel animation and the future Marvel projects. I thought we'd just talk about a few of those things. I call this a Brad Winderbaum drop some MCU nuggets. So, MCU I almost said McNuggets. So he was talking about X-Men 97. We know we're going to review it, but it's being very well received all the way around. I've heard nothing but good things. There are a few people that's like, it's not my cup of tea, which is cool, but they're not shitting on it. But for the most part, I think it's at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now for the first 2 episodes. But he was talking about the genesis of that project. Where did it come from, and how did how did it come to be? And he was saying that when they decided they were going to go into animation, one of the things that the first thing they did was What If, obviously, and it was a big success. And so he then was like, Feige was like, well, what do you want to do next? And he immediately said X-Men. And he said Feige's only 2 things that were required for it were these 2 things. One is, can we get the original theme? And 2, can we get the voice cast back? And then they were off to the races. Lottie, did we need more confirmation that Feige is just like the man just knows? Do we need any more confirmation?
I mean, yeah, if you're going to do a direct sequel of a show that you're going into bringing back the nostalgia of the older fans, the fans that are spending the most money, yeah, it's best to bring back the original voice actors as much as possible. I don't care if they say I don't want to do it. You slap them in the face with more money. Well, you pimp slapped them in the face with more money.
To be fair, voice actors don't make much money, so they probably didn't have to pimp slap. They were just like, do you want a job? And they're like, yes, please. Hey, me. Remember me? Remember? Hey. And by the way, I do want to say, fucking shout out to Marvel Animation for how well they treated the voice cast. And by this, I mean, so it's been 30 years. And the voice actor for Jubilee sounds older, right? There are a couple voice actors that they just kind of have aged out, or they can't do the voice anymore or whatever. And God, bless these people over at Marvel Animation, because they're like, okay, how about you do this role? So the voice, the person that does Jubilee now is a different person, a newer person. But the voice actor of Jubilee from the original series is now the voice of Val Cooper. So she is actually a part of this. And I forget the other voice actor that they moved around, but it was really cool that they really did try to get everybody back. So I think that's dope. I love that Kevin Feige's, he was just like, listen, we got to have that. We got to have the original theme. And I'm like, you ain't wrong. Like, it'd have been weird watching this without the theme song. I just think that's a cool thing that shows that Feige kind of knows these things, but also that once they saw that What If kind of hit, they're like, what else can we do here? And by the way, I feel like this is really opening up the possibilities for animation. And that actually leads us into another thing he was talking about. They were kind of asking him about, other shows, because they officially canonized the the Netflix Marvel shows, and Winderbaum was basically saying, well, that kind of came about because they realized that they kind of wanted to go back to the drawing board on what was it, Daredevil, Born Again, and part of that was because Loki and it kind of made them rethink about how they're going to do TV, and the whole thing with Daredevil making them rethink how they were doing the series, and made them realize, like, look, we got this whole Netflix thing over here. Let's just make it real. And so that was sort of the process to get them canonized. But it's, of course, has also made people say, well, what about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And it seems like it is not out of the realm of possibility that might happen. Now he says, he basically says, hey, it's on the table. I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not real, but they also sort of mentioned possibly Spider-Man the Animated Series. So, I mean, Lottie, Do you think that's a real possibility? At least Spider-Man the animated series.
Bringing back Spider-Man the animated series.
How about doing a sequel series, kind of like X-Men '97?
Oh, if they do that, my brother's gonna drop kick the entire universe. He loves Spider-Man the '90s series, and it ended on like the most outrageous cliffhanger. Like it literally just like she's just like Madam Web is like, I'm gonna take you to the real Mary Jane. Oh, I'm gonna see the real Mary Jane. Boom, gone, over.
Never see it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's oddly enough, my daughter was like, she's like, I hope they do another spectacular Spider-Man. And I was like, okay, all right. So she said spectacular Spider-Man. I'd see other people being like, well, what about X-Men and the Wolverine and the X-Men? What about what's the other X-Men Evolution? And there's suddenly this huge vista wide open for either reinterpretation or sequel series or something like this. Everyone can get in on the nostalgia train. So I think Spider-Man anime series, I think, is actually possible.
X-Men Evolution, in my opinion, if they make a sequel, don't. X-Men Evolution actually had an ending. No. Like, because here's the thing why you just like, I feel like you start going a little too far, like Wolverine and the X-Men. Like X-Men '97 is enough. Because the reason why I say that is because every single one of those shows are all going to end in the same exact way. No, we don't all want to see Onslaught triple threat, because that's literally what's going to happen. Like we all know the X-Men '97 Onslaught's coming. I don't care what anybody says, he's coming. X-Men Evolution. What else can you do after Apocalypse? Onslaught. What else can you do with X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men? Have you seen Wolverine and the X-Men? Because it's pretty much like, what's the name, went into the future.
Yeah.
Like there's a future. It's pretty, Wolverine and the X-Men is pretty much Logan, but instead it's Professor X who's Logan. Like he pretty much, like he onslaughted everybody out of existence and he's still alive.
Huh. Well,
you know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is, people have a lot of affection for all these shows, and they just want more. Like, and they're like, "Why the X-Men only one that gets more?" So, well, Brad Winderbaum basically says, "You never know." When they're talking about Agents of Shield, possibly, I don't think they're gonna. I know they're not gonna canonize it. They might say it's in one of the multiverse. They're not gonna canonize it. I think the best that Agents of Shield can possibly get is a reference or even the cameos in Secret Wars, Avengers 6 or Kang Dynasty. I think that's the best they can ask for. I don't think it's going to actually come back. So, but we'll see. We shall see. He also was talking about, he also said, and this is just real quick, Lottie, be happy. Apparently Nova is in development. It's still a thing that they're working on. So the Buckethead could show up. I don't know. I don't know if that's real, how real that is, but he said they're working on it.
Yeah, I believe it when I see it. Man, you guys have been Marvel's been teasing me with Nova since 2018. I don't care. At this point, I'm dead inside.
I have to be honest. I do think they're working on it because I think they're working on Young Avengers. And it might not be Richard Rider. It might be Sam, whatever the fuck his last name is, the younger Nova that's in the comics now. Because he was a member. He did team up with Kamala Khan and Miles Morales at a couple of points. So I think that maybe they are developing him in order to like make him part of the Young Avengers, which I'll be down for. He was also talking about Ironheart and Wonder-Man. He says that they are currently in the editing process, which I was like, I didn't even know y'all done filming on the real. Keeping a 100% real. I didn't even know y'all were they were even done. Well, I knew Ironheart was, but I didn't know Wonder-Man was. So this, this says they're spectacular, they're amazing, they're different. We're able to explore corners of the universe that are really exciting. Riri Williams is one of them, and I cannot wait for people to meet Simon Williams. So hey, remember they were talking about, they're going to cancel Wonder Man. I guess not. There are things that are happening. So, I don't know how excited you are about either. I get the feeling you're not exactly like jumping up and down, like happy that these are coming, but just like, hey, they are coming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always with upcoming titles as I've gotten older. When it comes out, I'll especially newer stuff. When it comes out, I'll see what it's like, and then I'll get excited for like more stuff of it to come.
Yeah, I'm excited because I like Wonder Man, and I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen the second. He's really great. I think he can probably bring something new and cool to this. I wonder how close to the comics is going to be. In the comics he was, he and Scarlet Witch were a thing. So clearly that's not going to happen because he's pretty dead. So I don't know. But he's an actor that's also a superhero. So that should be interesting to see. And I've been really looking forward to seeing Ironheart because I was a big fan of her character in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So I'm just happy that they're in editing. That means maybe sometime next year we will actually see them. That would be cool. So good stuff from Brad Winderbaum all the way around. And I, give credit where it's due. If he's doing a lot of Marvel animation stuff, so great. I do want to see more Marvel animation. I hope he is hard at work helping people get those projects along. And we'll talk about those projects when we hear about them. So that's all of our news for this week. But maybe we missed something. Probably we missed something because a lot of stuff is flying around. So, or you agree, disagree, just had something to say, whatever the case may be, get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blurred_force1 on Threads and on Instagram, super_not_funny show on TikTok. So, Lottie, now it's time for us to talk about the X-Men. X-Men 97's back, and we got I think a lot to talk about here. So let's get into this review. Lottie, this was something special when that theme hit, right? Right? Am I wrong? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know about you. I went back and watched some of X-Men, the animated series. I didn't watch all of it like I meant to because it's 78 episodes, but I watched the first couple seasons leading into this, and man, that they brought the theme song back. We saw the trailer for it and everything like that, kind of got hyped about it and everything like that, but like that theme song hitting was that it hit what did they say, it hit different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
it still sounded the same. We got these first 2 episodes of a 10 episode first season. They pick up almost immediately. Almost immediately after the season finale of the original series from back in 1996, I guess, or 97. It last aired. And the first episode basically features, hey, the X-Men are here, and we're dealing with, the fact that mutants are a lot more accepted, but the Friends of Humanity are still out there causing a ruckus. But we're going to be the premier superhero team for mutants. And then in the second episode, they're dealing with Magneto, who has come to basically take over the X-Men from Charles Xavier's will. Kind of gave him the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, and to try to lead the X-Men. But first, he has to sort of stand trial for his crimes. And in the meantime, the Friends of Humanity got some bullshit going on in the background. It's a lot of stuff going on in this, basically 40 minutes worth of stuff. So with all that being said, Lottie, did it, take you back to the 90s, or were you feeling this? Did you like it?
Nothing could have prepared me for the epicness of this show. I was not expecting this to be this damn good. Listen, and it's universally praised. I'm seeing people who I don't even know that are into like comic book stuff. Like I'm seeing video game channels going like, this show has no right to be this damn good. And I'm watching it, having one of those like nerd pop-offs as I'm watching it. And first of all, here's my first thing. How dare you? How dare you give Storm such badassery and then do what you did to her in second episode? You motherfuckers, man. Pain me deep in my soul.
Oh my God. That, you know what? The beauty of all of this is, and I'm going to let you keep talking. I just wanted to say this. This show, the original series came out at a time where X-Men were huge in the comics. Absolute. X-Men #1 back in like, I want to say 93. It's one of the, it was a multi-million selling comic. This is during the Chris Claremont, the heyday of Chris Claremont, who is arguably the best creator on X-Men. Created a lot of things that you know and love about the X-Men. And this show features a lot of the things that he did in his run. And this show, 97, clearly wants to keep on making that happen because it fixed the Executioner and the Extinction Agenda. That's a big deal back in the 90s. That was a big crossover amongst the X-Men titles. So, like I said, I'm gonna let you get back to it, but the point is that the reason why it feels so similar, because it is picking up the storyline from when the series stopped, and that's still around that era. So this is a super 90s thing, and it feels right for a reason. So yeah. The epicness you were saying.
And don't get me started with my motherfucker Magneto. Someone said
the M stands for mother, and I was like, you get out of here.
This motherfucking Magneto. Man, literally when I saw him, I was like I heard his voice, I said, there he go. There he fucking go.
Oh shit.
I can't even get the words to like fully explain how I feel about this show because it's legitimately good. Like, it's like you said, it feels so damn 90s. Oh my goodness. And that's the thing. That's one of the things that's praised about the show is that their attention to detail of making this show in 1997, they weren't joking. Like the person I was watching it with, they were like, why are they? They're like, wait. Why don't they just pick up a cell phone and call or do this? I said, the show is in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that the attention to detail that they didn't forget. And they even made it feel like it was still in the 90s. You know what I mean? Because we all know what was happening in the real world in the 90s. It was the Gulf War and all that stuff. Yeah. So it kind of felt like the world, Gulf War and all that stuff was happening during the time of during that time. And man, listen. Could not prepare me for the epicness of that show.
I think I loved not just the continuity in terms of style, the continuity in terms of the storytelling. I think the animation is a good mix of modern techniques and a kind of a throwback to what they were doing back then, right? So it's basically trying to mimic the style, but with also modern so there's a lot more action and it's a lot more fluid. You'll notice like in the intro, it's a lot more fluid. There's more stuff going on. They recreated certain aspects of the original intro, but they added more frames and more dynamic action. beautiful. Um, in terms of the characterization, spot on everywhere. Of top to bottom, people were like sort of shitting on Logan's voice actor in the trailer, but I have zero complaints about him in this show. Absolutely on point. Every characterization is on point. I love Morph is like, he's, because they have the money to do it, he's morphing into other people more. Like in the second episode when he's fighting Executioner, he morphs into Psylocke and Colossus and Lady Deathstrike. Like, he's doing all of that cool ass shit. He's a lot more interesting as a character. Jubilee and her little interaction with Roberto da Costa, aka Sunspot, that was great. But let's be honest, like, Cyclops is the shit in these 2 episodes. My God, that man he's the Cyclops I know from the comics, who runs this shit, Like,
yes.
And him leading the team in the field, kicking ass, loved it. Absolutely loved Cyclops getting his due. He, even when he has to defer to Magneto later on, it's still pretty great. Storm, goddess. Let's call it what it is, right?
Yes.
She's going so hard in both of these episodes. I was thinking when I watched the old show, I was like, man, like, they're really like overly dramatic with her voice acting. And I don't, yeah, it's true, but I love it. I think actually, I want to actually say, I think the writing is a little stronger for her character in this series than it was in the original series, because she doesn't sound as weirdly like she's reading off of a script. She sounds like a woman with a regal voice that's talking, like she should talk, not reading a script. I really, really enjoy that. Yes, spoiler alerts, in this second episode, she basically takes a bullet for Magneto, literally, and it depowers her. And it's a surprisingly emotional moment, when it's clear her losing her powers is her losing a major part of herself. I really like that whole little character arc. We'll talk about Magneto in just a second. The only other thing I wanted to say was the whole Jean Grey, who is this other Jean Grey, everything. That's a huge storyline. And it's really, they sort of were hinting at it in the first episode with the whole little psychic link with Trask. But who is this other Jean Grey, and who is Jean, she has her baby and everything like that. But super dramatic, super interesting. And so let's talk about the Magneto thing. And so like episode 1, they rescue Roberto da Costa from the Friends of Humanity. They find out the Friends of Humanity have they've been getting tech from like Sentinel stuff, and they just, they're trying to figure out, who it is. We also find out that they are working closely or, are in good standing with Val Cooper, who is, if you remember from the original show, she works for the government. She basically a liaison with, mutants affairs or whatever. But in this one, she is, basically the top cop surrounding mutant stuff. But they find out, Stryker is sort of working with somebody. And Executioner ends up being one of those. Now, Lottie, when we come to the trial of Magneto, which is a big story in the comic books, where this is all drawn from, he's leading the X-Men. He decides to be a good guy. And then they're like, no, we need to bring him to heel for all the shit he did. And he's like, all right, I'll play by the rules. I'll do the right thing. And I will have presumably a fair trial where I can defend myself. And he's going to do it in front of the UN, and that gives the Friends of Humanity and the Executioner the opportunity to take a shot at him. I think that episode, that's one of the best damn episodes of superhero, or best superhero media like has ever been made. I'm no lie, I really feel that. I don't know if you feel the same.
I definitely feel like these 2 episodes of this show, in my opinion, is one of the best things superhero animated outside of Invincible. It's like this and Invincible are the best thing animated superhero that I've seen that is mature. It's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It is the best I've ever seen.
it's
And I'm not saying that lightly.
yeah, it's that episode 2 is the thing about it is, and this is a lot of the talk going on social media about this. When we talk about fans and people who don't fucking get it, they can't, people that have called this shit, they were mad about Morph being non-binary and wokeness and blah, blah, all the buzzwords from shitty fans who don't seem to understand, what the X-Men are about. They think it's just powers, and they were too young to understand, or now that they're older, they willfully try not to understand that X-Men is about prejudice and othering, and who gets to be considered a real person and who gets to be mistreated because they're not like us. That sort of thing. It's been an allegory, but this is less allegory. This, as I was watching the episode with Magneto on trial, and these Friends of Humanity come busting in, and I was like, oh, y'all, you motherfuckers aren't even gonna pretend like this isn't a straight up callback to January 6th. It is straight up a callback to it. Y'all aren't gonna pretend like, oh, when the Executioner gives his little spiel to Scott about why he's doing what he's doing, oh, it sounds exactly like the fucking Proud Boys or any of these other white nationalist bullshit, supremacist groups. Oh, or any of this shit that's going on, talking about white replacement. It's literally almost word for word. Just replace, mutant, human with white people, or replace mutant with, any other, minority group that you want to hate. And I was like, wow, you guys are gonna just straight up not even sugarcoat it. You're not even gonna, try to put layers. There's no layers. This is just you. And if you identify with the X-Men, cool. You maybe you're on the right side of history. If you found yourself talking like fucking Executioner, maybe reconsider your life choices. It's unbelievable that this is a thing we get to watch. Magneto's trial and the way it plays out, and the way remember, what did he say? Oh, to play by the rules and still they condemn you. I was like, fuck, man. How are y'all going this hard right now? And then Lottie, when he lifts everybody into the air, lifts the judges into the air, and Executioner, and he's like, never again, right? He's like, he literally says, if you love different, or if you look different, or you have a different skin color or a different gender, they're going to hate you and all this other stuff. And he's like, I'm trying to be better, but y'all don't make me let you down. The double meaning of, we're high in the air, and if I let you down right now, you're all going to fucking die. But also, if you make me turn back to the old me, y'all are going to fucking die. And I was like, I literally, while I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, he's literally just saying, y'all lucky it ain't me. Y'all lucky it ain't the old me. If it was the old me, none of you, I would crush all of you bitches, and it wouldn't be a thing. And I was like, man, god damn it. Epic. Sorry, I've been running on a bit. That whole fucking bit, one of the best damn, it's just one of the best damn things I've seen on TV in a while.
I completely agree.
Jeez.
You have no disagreement from me at all. Like, it was good. It was good. And like I said, those damn, and it's like they said, and it's like Magneto even said, you guys are talking about how much you want to stop this, because it's just true. I was talking to my friend about it, and they're like, I was watching with her. She was like, well, Magneto can't be mad that Magneto can't be mad at them, because how are they supposed to stop the Friends of Humanity? And I told her, I was like, you see how fast they found Magneto?
Yeah. It's not like
You're telling me they
yeah.
don't. You're telling me you're really telling me that they don't know where the Friends of Humanity are?
Yeah. And
And she was
yeah.
like, "Damn." I say, you see what they did you see what they brought to escort Magneto away. You're really telling me they're giving their best to stop those people? No, they're not.
Yeah, and the thing
Fuck
is that
no.
unlike in our real world where there are plenty of keyboard warriors and there's plenty of people talking shit online and there's plenty of people showing up to school board meetings talking about banning books or banning DEI or banning this or that's, they're just citizens that are mad and they're voicing and they're, they're not doing anything except stoking hate, right? But in terms of actually doing anything, the Friends of Humanity are like that, but they're actually kidnapping mutants and they're throwing bricks and firebombing and all this other shit, right? They're doing terrorist shit. So yeah, in our world that wouldn't fly, even if you were being a terrorist in favor of Donald Trump or in favor of Ron DeSantis or whatever. They'd still fucking arrest your ass, right? But in this world, the Friends of Humanity are still running around doing shit. So yeah, like it makes makes you think that either they're incompetent or they just don't want to find these people on purpose. So this is definitely a worse world in terms of being a mutant. But it's interesting because Magneto is just like, he is so close to like fucking killing everybody, and they just don't know. Like they just don't understand. This is a dude who, set up Asteroid M. He set up Genosha. He's doing all. He is trying to do what Charles wants, but don't fucking push him. That's what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
And so I did kind of love the fact that he got kind of exonerated because, to be fair, his argument was pretty much like, hey, this is very much echoing sort of Malcolm X. Hey, I'm responding to violence against me and my people with violence. And don't give, it's always funny to me that the people, the majority will commit violence and then be mad and be like, it's so uncouth to commit violence in response. I'm like, no, I'm gonna fucking defend myself. And if you have a problem with it, maybe open your fist and stop throwing weapons at me. Like, so yeah, anyway, I could go on and on. We're 20 minutes on this, but I think they were excellent episodes, and I'm highly anticipating the next ones. So, anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts on these episodes. But what did you guys think about it? What did you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com. It's blurred_forest1 on Threads and Instagram, and it's super_not_funny_show on TikTok. And while you're down there, do us a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see videos and podcasts just like this. And if you're listening to us on a podcasting platform, you know what to do. Go ahead and leave us a review, 5 stars if that's what you think we deserve. That would be pretty dope, actually. And of course, I can't do this all by myself. I need Lottie and his, expertise on, animation and video games and just superhero stuff. So Lottie, where can they reach you on social media?
Oh yeah, you can always find me on my Instagram, which is Instagram and YouTube, which is Anukinihun. Again, it's Anukinihun, ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. I am currently uploading a lot of episodes of me playing Helldivers. I'm right now, I think only up to episode 11 is out, but there's 10 more episodes on the way. They come out every day at 9 a.m. So check the calendar. Watch me die for democracy.
Yeah. What he means is watch me die a lot for democracy. So yeah, I almost, because of watching, I was like, should I be playing Helldivers? And I was like, I'm not going to spend $40 on a game that I may or may not play. So I'm enjoying watching you get shot a lot in that game. very interesting. So you guys go check that out. Show Lottie some love, like, subscribe. You know what to do. So anyway, this has been episode, if you can believe it, episode 144 of the Supercast. And my gosh, we got new episodes of X-Men 97. We got Invincible. All this good stuff's going on, and we got plenty of news that's coming down the pike for our upcoming superhero thing. So we're really excited about that. Hope you can join us on the next episode. Until then, I've been Mo, your commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. We'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.